Every time you say sexy, you have to drink.
I would run out of wine.
My name is Jonathan Bailey, and I'm the sexiest man alive. What can I say? I mean, I giggle. I mean, obviously incredibly flattered, and it's completely absurd. Yeah, I mean, it's been a secret, so I'm quite excited for some friends and family to find out. But yeah, I mean, I'm honoured, and thank you for having me.
So you haven't told anyone yet? Anyone?
I told my dog Benson, and yeah, no, I haven't. I've kept it.
Mickey safe.
How do you spell NDA?
Yeah. Who do you think will give you the most grief when they find out?
Oh my gosh. I think a lot of my friends will, they'll be furious that I haven't told them, and then they'll just squeal with delight. And also they've seen me grow up, like the magic behind the mask of being identified as a sexy man is that there are other truths that they know and they've witnessed. So yeah, they know they know the secrets.
You think your life is going to change anyway? Like, do you envision this new world that you're Sexiest Man Alive in?
Oh God, do you know what? I haven't actually thought about it. Now you're asking me. I feel like I'm entering the Matrix. No, I think we should touch base, Julie.
Yes.
Why don't we swap? Well, we'll swap numbers. And
There we go. Okay.
maybe I can call you if it gets really intense, or maybe I can call one of the Chris's or the Rock, or
There's a club now. You're a member of
So
the
do
club.
they meet? Where do you think they go?
I don't know. Secret. I'm not told. You get to find out.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Describe yourself as a kiddo growing up.
Yeah, I was the youngest little brother of three amazing sisters, and I think I was really enthusiastic, probably quite annoying, hard to calm down, couldn't sleep unless I could hear noise, but just like, I dote on them, and they were like my heroes growing up. So yeah, I think I look back now and I go, God, yeah, I think I really knew what, I had the same passions as I did when I was sort of 5. So I sort of knew who I was. I don't think I ever thought of myself as sexy as a 5-year-old, but also, as I grew up. But, yeah, a bit, sort of always loving.
Did you ever have an awkward phase?
Awkwardness evolves with you, and there's different ways you feel it. But yeah, I felt really excited by a lot of things, and also confused by a lot of things. And I had a head brace that I had to wear for a couple of years. That was kind of awkward. And painful, actually. Those who know. But yeah, I like at school, I gravitated towards people who were like, I was kind of a nerd. But no, I feel awkward quite a lot of the time. So I feel like that stage is lifelong for me. And I think I probably was inherently a nerd because I was so passionate about certain things.
When did you start feeling comfortable in your own skin?
Good question. I think I definitely feel much more comfortable. Well, I think it's all relative, isn't it? And you look back and you go, oh my gosh, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't feel very comfortable then at all. But I think at various different moments in my life, I've been like, yeah, I've got this. Which is then met sometimes by a deep spike of fear and self-doubt. But I think when I was really young, I felt I was very confident, actually, as in about who I was. And, I had a really lovely, very lucky to have 3 sisters and parents who just and grandparents who just sort of let me play. And so I think maybe I lost that sense of confidence and feeling good in my skin as I grew up a bit. And then we're all sort of trying to get back to the origin, aren't we? But I tell you what, I was swimming in the sea about an hour ago, and with a good gang, and I felt all right in my skin then, so that's good.
You saw, is this right, a production of Oliver with your grandma,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So do you remember, aside from then, that you knew you were going to make it as an actor? That you were going to be able to do this for the rest of your life?
Absolutely not. I couldn't believe, we went to see my nan is now 95. She's amazing. And we sort of sometimes really go down a rabbit hole with it, because I'm like, so what did I say? And she's like, you just said, that's what I want to do. And it was just an unbelievable, stroke of luck, really. And also, I was in a very small village, went to local primary school, and there I was just really interested in the dance that was happening, and I sang in the choir, and that was just sort of enough to be, it's the right time, right place. I could have easily gone, discovered that a year later, and maybe then might not have had that moment with Oliver. But the thing that's funny is that I said I really wanted to, I'd love to be an Oliver, and I got scouted by the Royal Shakespeare Company. And then through the Royal Shakespeare Company, they just said, if you audition for Oliver, and I was like, I've said I really want to do it. So then I auditioned for Oliver, and then I got a part in Oliver. And then at the age of 6, I had to decide between going to the Royal Shakespeare Company at the Barbican in London, or going to play Nipper in Oliver. And you just, I look back and I just think it's wild. But so I'd done 3 seasons at the RSC by the time I was 13.
Wow. Wild.
It is wild, but I didn't miss a day of school. My parents were like, I didn't really talk about it. Yeah, they're like, get back. Times tables first, always.
Yeah. What advice would you give to your 15-year-old self?
Dude, you're in for a ride. You're not going to believe where you're going to end up. You are not going to believe it. Do you remember Egg? He was one of your first dalliances, and she said to you, you've got a straight nose. And you were confused. And you realize, that's where it all went. I was like, it's all going to be fine. It's going to be, it'll be bumpy, but you'll meet some amazing people, and trust your instincts, because they've got your back.
Miss Sharma, may I have this dance?
You may, my lord.
So thinking ahead, did you have any notion how big Bridgerton or Wicked would be?
Something like Bridgerton there was just lightning in a bottle. And I feel that there's like the making of the show and the art itself. And I knew it was just the idea of a period drama and Shonda Rhimes for Netflix, like global appeal. Shonda writes beautifully so that everyone feels sort of a part of a story that they might not have done otherwise. And then the romance of Regency is just second to none, and based on Julia Quinn's novels. But then as we obviously we went into lockdown, we finished about 7 days before the world shut down, and just slowly as we got towards Christmas, you hear that it's going to be released on Christmas Day, and then there was another lockdown called, and I actually was so overwhelmed with emotion because I just had this sense. I was like, this is going to be a really big thing. It was such an extraordinary time where we were reminded that we can watch things together and enjoy it in that way, and then you had this escapist, beautiful fantasy romance. And yeah, it just sort of ignited.
I know I am imperfect, but I will humble myself before you because I cannot imagine my life without you, and that is why I wish to marry you.
I knew even before it came out that it was going to be Anthony's story afterwards, so you just sort of crack on and you get to meet amazing people coming in to help you tell that story.
The Wicked Witch can't elude us forever. Not with Prince Fiero and his squadron hot on her trail.
I've seen Wicked for Good. And I described it. I found it so emotional. And I described the feeling very similar to coming up to Christmas and then realizing there's something about this film which I think is just astonishing. And not just because of the art itself and the people in it, and John Chu is a genius, and obviously Cynthia and Ari and Jeff, Michelle and Ethan, but it's going to resonate in a way that's just spellbinding.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so it is exciting.
Once again, the responsibility to corrupt my fellow students falls to me.
When I saw the musical, I was like, the character Fiero, that's a really good part because it's a huge arc. And obviously when you're putting something on film, then you just have to mine and, bring to light and to life the sort of what is quite a lean script, but the sort of real high stakes for the character. And he's like an absolute Catherine wheel in the first film. Clearly not very happy, but just distracting everyone with as much charm and chaos as he can muster.
Come on, follow me. You'll be happy to be.
And then he meets someone who just completely sees him, and he is then awakened by such integrity and an act of radicalism, I think, in Alphabet.
For a while there, I thought you changed.
I have changed.
He's changed for good at that moment with the Lion Cub, and the second film is brilliant because you get to just see all of that play out, and to have a duality of a character that, and just to, I know that's one of the biggest, most appealing things for anyone, but yeah, he's very serious actually, Fiero. I think that's what I discovered.
Slightly sexy, just saying.
Well, it depends on the beat of the bar.
What would you say you have learned about fame, having gone through?
I think what I've discovered is that some of the hardest bits are waiting for your family and friends to understand. As in, not that they don't, but it's just a really complicated, brilliant, and so exciting. But it's, but yeah, it's like once your friends and family lock in, they go, "Oh, I understand that this is." It's just shifted. You know, if you take your nieces out and about, there's just a different protocol. But I've also, what also have I felt about being sort of identified publicly is the opportunity. It's just, it's like amazing. You know, I started when I was 6 and I've worked all the way through. And in my 20s, I was always going back to theatre, and I feel so lucky that I never thought that I would be partaking in these sorts of stories, because I think it meant that I was just so fastidious and dedicated to each job as it came, because I was so grateful for it and never thought there'd be another one coming. And I observed people and I just felt that every job was enough. And so then to get to a point now where you go, blimey, I've read more, you know, you get to meet these, you know, brilliant people who, the really creative ideas, and the people who, you know, work in extraordinary places, have got real stories, and then more often than not, everyone's had that similar thing where you get to a point in your life and you look back and you go, wow, but you never for a second think that's where you're headed. I didn't anyway. So opportunity, I think, is great. And to be able to, like, you know, yeah, to do some things that, yeah, you could only dream of, yeah.
What have you failed at, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I failed. I didn't finish my Open University. Well, this won't surprise you from what I've said today, but I didn't go to university. So I had a place, and obviously, I really wanted to be an actor, but I took time out and took a year to go traveling a bit, and I wasn't getting a lot of work, but I would just get a play just at the time where I'd be going back to where I would start university. So I deferred, and then I auditioned for drama school, and I deferred again. And then I was like, you know what, there was just enough work to keep going. And so I did Open University, where you study from home. And I did the first module. Oh, I got so excited by the first one that I then signed up to about 9 different courses, not realizing that if you didn't finish them, you get expelled. So I didn't finish my Volcanoes and Tsunamis course, and I didn't finish my Leonardo da Vinci course, but I did finish my music, but just at that point I got expelled. So Open University, hopefully that'll be something I can go back to. And the failure there is obviously, again, taking on too much.
Do you think you'll really go back, though? Will you really someday, you think?
I do, yeah.
You want it?
Yeah, I want to know what happens with volcanoes.
Last time you were moved to tears.
Well, I did see Wicked yesterday. So I really...
That's kind of a given, though. I mean,
I know that
for
doesn't
those
count.
of us, but
Okay.
aside, not work
Beyond
related.
watching my own work. No.
In a good way, though.
Yeah, in a good way. It's definitely not my own work. I get moved to tears by family quite a lot. Like, my niece was pupil of the week. And she's so sweet. And she's just started senior school, and I was just so proud of her. 180 kids in the year. And she's like getting the bus to school, and she's the eldest of the next generation of Baileys, and that made me well up. In fact, all my sisters, when they send pictures of their kids, I'm like, so that comes with a warning. You know, I do find family just make me really emotional.
I love it. Do you see yourself as a dad someday, hopefully? Maybe?
If the planets align, yeah, for
I like
sure.
that. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I feel like in the world that we live in now, everyone's going to need a bit of guidance.
Yes.
So
You'd
maybe
be good.
there's a kid out there that, you know, could do.
You'd be good. What does a perfect date night entail?
Perfect date night would be, oh God, it totally depends. I love a walk, and I love a dinner. I do love a dinner, and I love going between various different places. I think depends what number date. You know,
That's true.
if it's like date 100, I think like Lego and pizza.
You do like your Legos.
Yeah.
You still do them?
It's, although we Brits say it singularly, as in the Latin for, but yeah, Legos. Some of my best dates have been Lego dates. No, I think dinners, theatre, films, and also just those dates that start and then they just don't, you know, they just roll through and you end
Those
up.
are good ones.
They are really good, yeah.
What personality traits are most important when it comes to being in a relationship?
Communication. Yeah, I think transparency is of utmost importance. And yeah, just obviously wanting, like, really support it, you know, really cheerleading and watching someone thrive, I think should be a real turn on.
Any deal breakers?
The opposite of those: bad communication, lack of transparency, don't like Lego.
Clearly, you take very good care of yourself. What does your workout entail?
Walk in the morning, lots of walking. I do gymnastics.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which I love doing. Yeah, it was funny because because at the beginning of the year I did a Shakespeare play, so did 103 performances of Richard II, and at the end of it, your body is just like desperate for a different experience because you're doing the same thing every day. And I think as a result of of being an actor and having really intense, different experiences throughout the year, I've sort of learned to find a baseline in exercise, tennis, a lot of swimming, and then yeah, if you're going to have, you know, a bottle of wine, have it.
For sure.
that's the real je ne sais quoi.
Yes, 100%. They call them stupid human tricks, but any like secret party tricks or party tricks that you always pull out to impress people?
A backflip.
Still?
I would say now, going back to the old adage about what I've learned about, I would hate for my backflip to go wrong and it be on TikTok. So I'm just slightly more cautious.
But that's impressive. When's the last time you've done one?
I've done a backflip probably in the last year. Not on
Standing backflip?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't always land. It doesn't always land. No, it's the momentum. I can get back, and then it's sort of, you know, my legs will then do what it does. But it's as long as you get your hands on the floor, the crowd go wild.
What makes you most proud?
I'm really proud when you see people, anyone, but friends as well, they sort of commit to something and they have an idea, and kindness and working hard. I think that makes me really proud. And the Shameless Fund is something that I'm very proud of. And there's so many people who want to do brilliant stuff everywhere. And there's so many people who feel like they can't, and they feel that it's like really, like, to find community. I feel very lucky that because of the work I've done and because I've been in certain things like Bridgerton, it meant that you can really help. And just sort of, I just saw that there's a possibility. There seemed like a lot of energy financially behind in certain industries, and obviously a great need for charities. And I know the LGBT sector is under immense threat at the moment. So it's been amazing to meet people who get it, but then also have expertise way beyond mine, where they can fill it and start structuring a business and see a potential that I could only have dreamed of. And it's only just over a year old, but it's twinkly, and it's I'm excited to see how it grows. Yeah.
How would you describe your life?
Right now, because I've had a bit of a break, it's very calm, and like, you know, I feel incredibly lucky. And it hasn't always been, it hasn't always been calm. But yeah, it feels calm at the moment. And But the whole thing is, you know, life is a ride for everyone, isn't it? And no matter who you are and where you come from, and it's just making sure that when you're in the ride, you're looking left and right, and making sure everyone's all right, and give them a high five along the way, I think.